Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. This is week 7 cabling. Okay. Before we do this, do you have any question about the previous lecture on networking and addressing, IP version 4, MAC address? Okay. Good. Now, as we know, computers and networks only understand or work with binary digits. And binary is only 0 or 1. This is binary. And each bit can only have one of two possible values, either 0 or 1. Okay? And bit is abbreviation of binary digit. Okay? Bit is a binary digit. Byte is equal to 8 bits. So here we have a byte. Okay. Now here we have this. The data is transferred into bits. Now you want to send the data. So you need to convert it into signals so that you are able to send the signals. Okay. The media, okay, is called physical medium, like cables, fiber optic, Wi-Fi. Okay. So we have also copper wire. What is a signal? A signal consists of electrical or optical patterns that are transmitted from one connected device to another. Okay. So, and there are three common methods of signal transmission used in networks. We have electrical signals, change in voltage. Okay. Or optical signal. The transmission is achieved by converting the electrical signal into light pulses. Or we have wireless signals. Transmission is achieved by using infrared or microwave or radio waves through the air. See here we have the three. If you look here, we have, this is the copper. Okay. This is fiber. And this is wireless. Any questions? Okay, so what is bandwidth? If I tell you what is the bandwidth of a road, the bandwidth of a road, the street, how many cars can go through that road, at certain time? This is the bandwidth. So the bandwidth of a medium is the capacity of a medium to carry data. Digital bandwidth measures the amount of data that can flow from one place to another in a given amount of time. And what is the unit for bandwidth? Bits per second. Speed, But that can flow, but the actual flow we have to measure. But how much it can handle, this is the capacity, okay? Now for transmission of text, a lower bandwidth is acceptable if I want only to send emails, but if I want to send graphics, music, videos, games needs a high bandwidth, right? Or small bandwidth? MashaAllah, you know that, huh? Abdul Bari needs high bandwidth or games? Video games needs high bandwidth or low bandwidth? High. Okay. Yeah, because high graphics and interactive. Here we have different bandwidth, 250 megabits per second, and we have 500 megabits per second because the 500 is faster, or half giga. Please look at these units. You need to know these units. Okay? Bit, byte, kilobyte. Kilobyte is 1,000. Kilobyte is 1,000 byte. This is actually kilobits per second. Yeah, 1,000 bits per second. 10 up to the power 3. Okay. Then we have megabit, million of bits per second. Gigabit, billions of bits per second. Billions. Giga yani billion. Terabyte, trillion of bits per second. 10 to the power of 12. Throughput. Throughput is the actual measure of the transfer of bits across the media and how much data already transmitted. Actual. And if we go back to my example, how many roads, how many cars actually cross the road? Throughput. Okay. Is it always that throughput is as big? Can throughput be faster than bandwidth? We'll see. طريق بيتحمل كذا ما ياخذ أكثر. Same thing for, but usually throughput is less than capacity. Why? Because the amount of data being sent and received over the connection, the type of data being transmitted, the latency created by the number of network devices encountered between source and destination. What is latency? If you go look down here, latency is the amount of time, including delays, for data to travel from one given point to another. Okay? This is latency. So here the latency, I send the data to the server, coming back, you add 80 plus 90, then I have 1.7 seconds. But also there are small amounts of time I can save. Okay? So here we have bandwidth versus throughput. You see, this is the bandwidth on top. The throughput is less because of noise also. Transmission flows يعني المشاكل الترانسميشن أو النويز أو العيوب أو الشوائب. This is the meaning of this word here. Okay. So what is noise? Who can tell me what is noise? Oh. Look. What is noise? Undesirable, غير مرغوب فيها. Influence, degrading or distorting signal. أي شائبة على السيجنال. تلغيها أو بتقلل من جودتها. The quality of the signal. We have two common sources of noise, EMI, electromagnetic interference, okay, is caused by motors, power lines, televisions, copiers, fluorescent lights, or we have crosstalk, occurs when the signal on one wire infringes on adjacent wire signal. signal تقفز من هذا الكيبل على الكيبل اللي يسموه crosstalk. Okay, so here they have give you some drawings. Here we have in one, I have a pure digital signal is transmitted. We want to transmit this. Okay, and then I have this interference signal, they add up together. Look at what signal I will get. You see the المحصلة or the, okay? This is what arrives to the computer actually. شو صار بالsignal? Distorted because of the noise. Maybe a bit is 0, actually the computer will read it 1. This is noise, okay? Transmission flows, we have also attenuation. What is attenuation? Attenuation is the lose besides. Yeah. يعني السيجنال بتضعف وهي تمشي بالكيبل. The signal loses its strength as it travels away from source. How do we solve this problem? We put a repeater. Okay? We put a repeater. It will regenerate a digital signal into its original form without noise. So repeater is used with digital signal. You have to make sure. Okay? If it was analog signal, we use amplifier. You write this note, okay? For analog, they use amplifier. We have physical media, we have wireless, يعني wired and wireless. Such as physical, يعني cable, wire, any tangible materials, يعني you can touch. It is used in communication like twisted pair cables, coax cables, fiber optic cable. They are typically used within or underground between buildings. Okay. Where is our cables here? Can you tell me our network cables? مين بيحكي لي وين الكيبلز بالغرفة؟ تحت شايف اللي وصل على الكمبيوتر من وين جاي؟ من الأرض صح؟ Yeah. Twisted pair cable looks like this one. Please have a look at this image. Networks in most homes and schools are wired with twisted pair cables. They are inexpensive, cheap. They consist of one or more pairs of insulated copper wires that are twisted together. And they are housed or put in a protective jacket للحماية. And they use pulses of electricity to transmit data. What are the disadvantages or drawbacks? Data transmission over copper cable is sensitive to electromagnetic interference, EMI. Another source of interference called crosstalk occurs when cables are bundled together. يعني هي مشكلة الكروسtalk والEMI الانترفيرنس بيأثر على it affects twisted pair cables. Okay. One, two, three, five. كم عدد الطلاب؟ 4 8 11 في حتى لا؟ 5 9 12 7 11 في حد معك؟ في حد جنبك؟ بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ما في 11 No. خلاص؟
ليش أول حصة أول كلاس أونلاين أساس ثاني؟ أول كلاس حضور ثاني.
مين حكى لك؟ ما بعرف. شو المادة الثانية؟
ICT.
ICT أعتقد. في حد معه قلم؟ الاسم بس. الاسم والاي. لا جيمنج باندويث عالي جرافيك كارد الدنيا كولينج. في حد جنبك؟ في حد شوف بس صاحبك اليوم. Okay, Shabab, can we continue? Who can tell me why the cables are twisted? Yeah. To eliminate, to reduce crosstalk. عشان نقلل من النويز. تمام. كم صار؟ 12؟ لا 12. يمكن دقيقة بعد. خلاص بعد. استنى. في عندك سؤال؟ في سؤال؟ لا. ما عندي السيستم بس راح اخذها ماندي. Okay. So data transmission over copper is sensitive to EMI. EMI اللي هو electromagnetic interference. You know, because of high voltage, high power, motor, television. Okay, also, if you put cables together for long distance, they will go crosstalk. We have two types of twisted pair cables. We have STP and UTP. Who's coming in the quiz? What is the difference? What are okay? Shielded or shielded twisted pair يكون أسمك يعني. Okay, this is shielded twisted pair. Here we have, you see the twisted pair, the same like the cable here, by the way, but it is shielded from outside. So it's more strings and more expensive and more difficult to handle than أسمك. Okay? And the shield must be grounded to enhance its protective effects. And the effectiveness of STP depends on the level and type of environmental noise, the thickness and material used for the shield, the grounding mechanism, and symmetry and consistency of the shielding. يعني يكون نفس السماكة على طول الكابل. See here, very nice, very good drawing here. See here. This is a shielded twisted pair. Okay, this is the twists, the 4 twisted pairs, foil shielding, and then we have also the jacket shield. Okay, and we have also a braided copper shielding, so it's very well protected, correct? While Cat 8, yeah, that one. Newer cables such as Cat 8, this is Cat 8, incorporate more sophisticated shielding materials, more tightly twisted wires, higher bandwidths to offer data rates rivaling a fiber optic cable at short distances. Did you see the Cat 8? Do you have Cat 8? Do you use it? How much speed you get? Very fast, huh? بس for short distance صح indoor ها yeah 10 meters huh? Okay. But Cat 5 can go up to 100 meters. Okay. UTP, it consists of one or more insulated wire pairs encased in plastic shield, هذا أرخص, does not contain additional shielding. This makes UTP less expensive and less resistant to noise than STP. Historically, UTP was more popular than STP طبعا. But modern cable prices have dropped lower enough that STP prices are becoming more reasonable. How much did you buy the cable? Do you remember? How much is it? You can look it up in yeah, for 10 meters or yeah, 5 meters. But how it looks like almost the same, like this cable, maybe a little bit thicker. Will yeah. Okay. This coming, yani. This is a good comparison. By the way, this is coming always in the quiz. Cat 3 UTP, 10 mega to 16 megahertz, suitable for Ethernet LANs, most often used for phone lines. Please read this table. Yes, I'll.
So, yeah. Nice. If we look,
Let me show you the Cat 8. This is Cat 8. This is Cat 8, okay? $20 هذا. It depends on the cable type also. This is 20, this is 50 almost. Ah, this is long. Oh. Gives the speed, Mr. The speed عالي. Speed is high. Yeah. Okay, so here we have Cat 7 and then we have Cat 8. Throughput, STP and UTP can transmit the same rates. STP and UTP vary in cost. Which one is more expensive? STP. Shul connector, what connector do we use? It is called RJ45. That connector is called RJ45. The network connector, the RJ45, let me show you one. This is called RJ45. You have seen this, I am sure. The telephone socket is called RJ11 أصغر. RJ11, just for information. This is RJ11. تتذكر هدول تبعون التليفون landline. Okay. Noise immunity, which one is more immune to noise or more resistant to noise? عنده مقاومة ممانعة على النويز. Which one? Shielded. حماية أكتر, protective from noise. Okay. Size and scalability. The maximum segment length for both is 100 meters. Okay. Some categories of STP require shorter segment lengths. STP مرات تكون أصغر شوي لأنه في له more conditions. لا. The STP, we already mentioned that it is a shield, many shielding. So the shield has to have good quality, the same intensity of the shield. بيكون أقصر بيكون أفضل لquality مش لسpeed, the quality for the shielded twisted pair. In some cables. But usually both of them 100 meters maximum. So this is the twisted pair wiring. If you look here, this is the wiring inside. The color coding of the wire pairs in a UTP cable is determined by the type of standard that is used to make the cable. Okay? And there are two different standards for the wiring. ترى شباب الوايرنج أي واير نختار and the order of the wiring, there are two standards, T568A and T568B. This is done by the TIA/EIA organization. This is standard. Both sides should be the same standard. I cannot use one standard on the receiver and different standard at the transmitter. It will not work, of course. Okay. So one wiring scheme should be chosen in your network and should be used for every termination in that project. Every termination of the network يعني ايش؟ Both sides, the end of the net, the end of the cable, بنسميها termination, terminate. Okay. Twisted pair operation. Okay, I have my network card. Okay, it has a jack. You insert the socket, the jacket. They are designed to send data over UTP cables. Specific pins on the connector are associated with the transmit function or receive function. When two unlike devices are directly connected using a UTP cable, it is important that the transmit function and the receive function on each end of the cable are reversed. Okay? So here we have this cable. Okay? You see here we have transmit. We call this stripped green, يعني مخطط. على السender it is send or transmit. On the switch this is receive. Okay? Same thing here. All right. This is TIA EIA 56BA standard. Any questions about this? Let me open for you this on the, maybe the picture will be more clear here. Okay, look here. Yeah. So this kind of cable is called straight through cable. Yani cable from the PC to the switch is called straight through cable because these are two unlike devices. But if it is from PC to PC, we call it cross cable. Have you ever tried to connect PC to PC? Before we used to use these cables, but now because of Wi-Fi, there are many different technologies used for transmission. So this is called, okay, crosstalk, straight through cable, okay? Straight through cable. Twisted pair operation, look here please. A crossover cable is used when connecting two similar devices اللي هو cross cable, crossover cable, يعني PC to PC, okay? Or switch to switch, router to router, or a PC to router also. Okay, here I have 1 is connected to 3, 2 is connected to what? 6. And 3 is connected to what? 1, right? 7 to 7, 8 to 8. So this is a crossover cable. يعني الحين we know two type of cable. Straight through cable, PC to switch. If I have switch to switch, PC to PC, router to router, PC to router, we use crossover cable. هذا هو crossover cable. Coax cable. This was early in 1980s. But nowadays we use other type of cables because it was expensive and يعني أعطاله كثير, easy to get disconnected. Okay. Coax has a central metal core surrounded by an insulator. So cable محاط بإنسوليتر, and then a braided metal jack shielding and an outer cover called shield or jacket. Okay. Okay, this is the coax cable. Sorry. Yeah. It provides more shielding compared to UTP cable. Okay. So let's put it here. So it can carry more data. So الكواكس الباندويث بتاعه أعلى. It has more bandwidth. الفايبر optic transmits data using pulses of light. It is constructed of either glass or plastic and is immune to EMI and RFI. This is very good. ما يتأثر, is not affected by RMI or by RFI or EMI اللي هو noise, electromagnetic noise or radio frequency interference. Parts of the fiber optic cable, please look at the parts here. We have jacket. This is the core, the cladding. This is the buffer. Then we have strengthening material, مقوية عشان ما يتكسر. And then we have the jacket, okay? Cladding يعني like a mirror. Inside شباب it's like a mirror. يعني الضوء بيمشي بينعكس وبضل ماشي وينعكس. الميرور عبارة عن ايش؟ ميرور. جلاس وبالآخر cladding. تصير مراية صح؟ Because different intensity. This is fiber optic cable. Okay. These are the benefits or advantages of fiber optic: high throughput, very high noise resistant, very good for excellent security, able to carry signals for longer distances. The disadvantages, of course, it's more expensive and requires special equipment to splice. To deal with the cabling, fiber needs more training to the technician and more expensive equipments. Not anyone can do the connection of the fiber. We call it splicing. We have also power over Ethernet. It's IEEE 802.3AF. Okay, specifies a method for supplying electric power over twisted pair Ethernet connection. Amount of power provided is around 15.4 watts. Okay, or 25.5 for newer PoE devices. Okay, we have two type of devices: PSE, power sourcing equipment اللي هي بتعطي الباور، و PD اللي هي powered devices. PoE requires Cat5 or better copper cable. Okay, and it will not work with before less than Cat5. All right. The PSE device first determines whether a node is PoE cable before attempting to supply it with power. On networks that demand PoE but don't have PoE capable equipment, you can add PoE adapters. I will explain all this to you now. Here I have my network. This camera needs power. Where is it getting its power? This is called a PoE device. It will get its power from the switch. Some type of switches, they provide power. Alas? So this is, if it's not having power, okay, then you need to connect what? You need to use PoE adapter. That's the meaning of this. Thank you very much. Now I'll stop here and I will answer your questions. Any question, please? Any question? This is very nice drawing. I think you have used in your life some of these devices, right? The PoE device, right? Where? For the switch, maybe, or some device? Yeah, cameras.